every record broken by K-pop Demon Hunters. Ever since it debuted on Netflix on June 20th, K-pop Demon Hunters has taken the world by storm. In fact, even 6 months later, it remains on the streamer's top 10 list. For the week of December 8th to December 14th, it was placed at number 5 in the United States and 4th worldwide. In fact, the amount of time it has been in the top 10 is a record for a Netflix movie. Even more impressive is the fact that happened a while ago. The more time it spends on the top 10, the more difficult it's going to be for any other Netflix original to beat it. Well, until the sequel rolls around. Furthermore, that's far from the only record set by K-pop. It's just one of many, and we're going to go through them all. Not to mention, now that we're entering awards season, you can expect even more records to be set. 13. First Netflix movie to win the weekend box office. Even though it had been playing on Netflix for 2 whole months, it won the weekend box office in August. Even more impressive is the fact that it pulled that off in spite of only receiving play on Saturday and Sunday. It didn't work out nearly as well when Netflix put it in theaters again 2 months later, but it was all gravy by that point. Netflix is notoriously averse to putting their originals on the big screen, but K-pop was too much of a sensation for them to resist, and it paid off to the tune of $18 million in 2 days. 12. Soda Pop, then Golden, ranked number 1 on the Top Gab Music Songs chart. Top Gab is basically Billboard, with whom they're partnered, if Billboard only had kid-friendly music. And, while we'll get to Billboard in a bit, we'll cover Top Gab now. 2 songs from K-pop have topped the kid-friendly chart. First was Soulja Boy's Soda Pop, followed by huntrx's Golden. 11. Soulja Boys became the highest charting K-pop boy band in US Spotify history. Thanks to their Your Idol, the penultimate song of the film, the Soulja Boys found their fictional selves with the most popular song on Spotify in the US. That beat Dynamite by BTS, which only got as high as number 3. In other words, Soulja Boys became the highest charting boy band in US Spotify history. 10. huntrx became the highest charting K-pop girl group in US Spotify history. Your Idol reached number 1 on the US Spotify chart dated July 3rd. huntrx's Golden was also on the chart, but in the 2nd position. Then, on July 8th, Golden took the crown, usurping Soulja Boys and becoming the highest charting female K-pop group in history. In fact, this counts as 2 records set. When Golden was in position 2, it had already beaten Blackpink to make huntrx the highest charting female K-pop group in US Spotify history. Then, when it took first place, huntrx became the first female K-pop group to have a song in the top spot. 9. Golden, placed at number 1 on the UK official singles chart. For the week beginning on August 1st, Golden became the number 1 song on the UK singles chart. This made it only the 2nd K-pop song to ever pull this off, after only Psy's Gangnam Style. Furthermore, this also made it the first song by a fictional band to rank first since the official BBC Children in Need medley, by Peter Kay's animated all-star band in 2009. It ended up spending 10 non-consecutive weeks in the number 1 position, ultimately making it the longest-running number 1 single by a fictional band since the Archies' Sugar, Sugar, all the way back in 1969. 8. Golden, placed at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. When Golden debuted on the US Billboard Hot 100 in the first week of July, it was all the way in position 81. Cut to 2 weeks later and it was in the top 10. Before long, it was in the number 1 position, which made huntrx the first girl group to do so since Destiny's Child's Bootylicious in 2001. As for the record it set, it was the first K-pop song with female lead vocalists to nab the number 1 spot. 7. The first soundtrack to feature 4 songs in the Billboard Hot 100 Top 10. In late August, K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack became the first for any film, animated or live action, to have 4 songs in the Billboard Hot 100's Top 10. These included Golden in 1st place, Your Idol in 4th, Soda Pop in 5th, and How It's Done in 10th. 6. Most successful soundtrack of 2025 on Billboard 200. The soundtrack for the film is the most successful of 2025 on Billboard 200, and the only one to nab the top spot at any point throughout the year. It did that not once, but twice. First on the week of September 20th, and then on the week of October 11th. As of December 20th, when it's been on the chart for 25 weeks, it remains in the number 3 position. 5. The soundtrack went double platinum. In October, the RIAA, Recording Industry Association of America, certified Golden as double platinum. That means it sold at least 2 million units. Other songs like How It's Done, Soda Pop, Your Idol, and What It Sounds Like were all certified platinum. The same could be said of the soundtrack as a whole. 4. huntrx topped the Billboard Global 200 list. Golden reached the number 1 spot on the Billboard Global 200 just a few weeks after it debuted. Specifically, for the week beginning with July 19th, at which point it held that position for 18 non-consecutive weeks between then and December 13th. 3. The longest a movie has been in the top 10 on Netflix. When it completed its 15th week of play, K-Pop Demon Hunters became the film with the longest placement on Netflix's top 10. That beat Red Notice, which left the top 10 after week 14. And here's the thing, that record was set in early October. The pop culture sensation has spent another 11 weeks in the top 10. As mentioned, it was in the 5th place in the US for the week of December 8th to December 14th. It was in that position the previous week as well. Prior to that, it was in 2nd place. In other words, even after 26 weeks, it's going to be a bit before it exits the top 10. And even when that happens, it will be hovering just outside of that. It continues to attract new fans and rewatches in equal measure. Point 2. The most streamed animated movie in Netflix's history. In its 6th week of release, Demon Hunters became the most popular Netflix animated film since the streamer started. This put it far ahead of other popular Netflix animated movies such as Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, The Sea Beast, and The Mitchells vs. the Machines. 1. The most streamed movie in Netflix's history. Netflix has never been one to publish viewership numbers, but they have let people know what the most popular films on the stream are on. Not just in terms of the top 10 for any given week, but most popular of all time as well. This is done by analyzing a new film's performance throughout its first 90 days of play. K-pop is number 1 with 236 million views, and that number has almost certainly ballooned since then, as it served as both an immediate hit and a word-of-mouth hit. This beats Red Notice at 230.9 million views, Carry On at 172.1 million views, Don't Look Up at 171.4 million views, The Adam Project with 157.6 million, and Bird Box with 157.4 million. It will be very interesting to see the inevitable sequel's 90-day numbers. It's hard to imagine anything else beating K-Pop Demon Hunters at its own game.